I chose this time to make everything from scratch, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But I also am going to say that if you don't have time, you can make this with commercially available products. So instead of making your own tomato sauce, you can purchase it, no problem. And instead of making your own vegan cheese, you can find it at your local health food store. So those are my 2 disclaimers.
The reason that she made the tomato sauce is it's hard to find tomato sauce that's oil-free. And those of you who have been here before know that we do our cooking without added oil. Not fat-free, but no refined products. And it's hard to find tomato sauce that's oil-free. She found some, and it is findable, but it's not easy. And same with cheese. A lot of vegan cheese probably isn't a whole lot better for you than dairy cheese because it's highly refined. But what Lyn has here for the recipe is not.
Hey, do you want to help me, or do you want to hold the mic?
I'll do this.
Okay, so we're going to start out by making the tomato sauce. And what I do when I'm looking for a good quality tomato sauce is I try and buy organic whenever I can. And I just try and watch for places that have it on sale. Often Morning Glory has their Muir Glen tomato sauces on sale. So these are 2 28-ounce cans.
It's really important that you know how to turn a can opener. That's one way to do it. Yeah, it is a good can opener. That's the first step.
The only thing that is, well, one of the things, as well as, of course, if you just buy something in a jar, then it's kind of pre-measured. And so I brought my scale with me so I could show you how I cook if I don't have something that's, like in this case, we're going to mix the tomato sauce all together, and then I'm going to need to put half of it. I'm going to have to split it. So here we go. We'll measure it when we need to. But first of all, we'll go ahead and add the ingredients.
Or you can just forget measuring and just guess at it, which is what I do. I mean, it looks about half, that's good enough. Never be held hostage by a measuring device.
I can't cook like that. So this is 2 tablespoons of oregano.
Sort of.
And this is basil.
This is basil that we dried from our garden. It's really good. The way we make tomato sauce at home actually is we use dried tomatoes from our garden. And if you dry your tomatoes, then you can just throw them dried into the blender and turn them into powder, and then you add as much water as you want. But since you probably don't all have dried tomatoes vacuum packed in your pantry, we decided to do it this way for you. But you ought to try drying tomatoes. They're really good.
So here's your onion powder. And some garlic powder. And so Jim and I made this, and we tried it, and we decided it was too sharp. So we added 2 ingredients that you'll need to add to your recipe.
So get out your pen.
And one of them was yeast flakes. So if you're making a sauce and it seems like it has too much of a bite to it,
Or is a little too acidic.
you can add some yeast flakes.
Nutritional yeast flakes give a little bit of a cheesy flavor and will take the acid out of a tomato sauce.
And the other thing we did was I try very hard to go no sugar in my cooking, but occasionally it's helpful to add a little bit of maple syrup or honey, just so that it has a more cheerful flavor.
You'll find that if you, in something like tomato sauce, put about the same amount of sweet as you do salt, that'll take the edge off and really bring out the flavor. Then you're using the sugar not as a sweetener, but as a flavoring, and that works very nicely. And you still have a good carb to fiber ratio, and that much sweet and this much sauce is certainly not going to push your blood sugar up. One tablespoon was all. If you want to, or if you want to pour some in, I don't mind, but 1 tablespoon, we measured it for you.
So these are red pepper flakes, and if you want just a little bit of heat, they're very useful to have in your kitchen, and you don't need very much, just a pinch.
How much nutritional yeast did you put in?
2 tablespoons.
2 tablespoons.
2 tablespoons nutritional yeast, approximately. I watched her, and it wasn't exact. I mean, when you're measuring nutritional yeast, do you pack it down? Do you scoop it from some hard pack? I mean, it's all approximate.
Okay, so here we go. That was, you can see that wasn't difficult. And the fun thing about making your own tomato sauce is you can use the ingredients that you enjoy. You know, if there's other spices that you really like, you can try those. There's no rights and wrongs. This is just an example.
You can put thyme in it, that's nice.
Right?
We all need more thyme, right?
Okay, so here's what we'll do. Oh, before we'll do that. So, we'll go ahead and do this part. So I'm going to weigh this.
Did you tear the bowl first?
No, I'm weighing it.
Okay.
So, you will. You just put some tomato sauce on the bottom of your pan. And then you start with your corn tortillas and you layer it. And then you have to create your tofu mixture, and to do that, we will just take some of this out here. So this is the peanut butter and the Bragg's. And the really important thing to know is this step is critically important, is you want to stir with a fork and get it really well blended.
Peanut butter and the what?
Peanut.
And soy sauce or tamari sauce or Bragg's liquid aminos, they all give about the same flavor. Which did you use this time?
I used tamari.
She used tamari. She said Bragg's, but tamari I think has a nicer flavor.
So you stir this until it's nice and smooth. That is really well blended. Also, it's important to use smooth peanut butter. The first time I made this, I used chunky. And when you're trying to make something that is something like enchiladas, chunky doesn't do it. Although we did eat
It
it up.
tasted good, but the chunks of peanut didn't quite fit.
So you can see how this is kind of all blended together now. So now I'm just going to add this to my tomato sauce, to the half of it that I portioned out. And then we just add in your tofu. Where's my trusty knife? Here it is. So tofu is a really remarkable product in that it absorbs flavors. If you eat it just by itself, it's very bland and you would think it was pretty miserable. But it has a capacity to absorb whatever you add it to. And so you can make really delicious savory dishes with it, and it'll absorb all kinds of flavor. You can make desserts out of it as well.
I like the desserts better.
So I've just cubed the tofu. Now I've added it to here. Okay, stir it up. Yeah, just put the whole thing in. Yeah, now when I make this at home, I would try and make 2 layers. But because I'm short on these, I'm just going to do 1 layer. So again, if I was, the way you'll taste it in here, I did,
3 layers.
it has 3 layers. It's a layer of cornmeal tortillas, a layer of the tofu mixture, then I'll put another layer of these, and then another layer of the tofu mixture.
But we ran out of corn tortillas making yours for tonight. So we'll eat this tomorrow maybe without it. And so I want you to think of us as, in fact, we're so out, we don't have enough to cover the top.
Oh well,
It's not a problem.
it'll get eaten tomorrow.
It'll be just fine. So then when you're at this stage, you take the remaining amount of your tomato sauce and you put it on the top. This is a tomato sauce that doesn't have the tofu in it.
Or the
peanut butter and tomato.
Yeah, this is just the plain tomato sauce. And then the last stage, and I know some of you have tasted this cashew cheese before, but I'm just going to talk about the ingredients really quickly. It's very easy to make a cashew cheese. You just need raw cashews, and you blend them together with, you can either use canned roasted peppers or fresh red peppers. And the only other ingredients you need, again, are the yeast flakes, onion powder, garlic powder, and some cornstarch. And you'll have that all there on your recipes. And you blend that, and then pour it in your pan to heat it, and then use a cup of water to rinse out your blender and stir it, and it will thicken up really nicely on your stovetop. And then once you've done that, you have a cheese sauce that's nice on pasta. It's nice on a lot of different things.
It makes a great macaroni and cheese.
So here we go. So we'll put some cheese on top, and you have it. So as I said, this is we've showed you the long version, but you could make it using regular prepared sauce.